Jason liked the quiet of the mountains. He had been camping there for 3 days, enjoying the clean air and the peaceful sound of the wind in the trees. At night, the stars were brighter than anything he had ever seen back in his hometown. He made a small campfire and watched the flames dance. It was his way to escape from the busy world. To forget about his problems for a while, he sat on a fallen log, holding a metal mug of hot coffee. It was late, and the sky was black except for the silver moon. Jason leaned back and closed his eyes for a moment. He felt safe there, far from other people, far from noise. He listened to the crackling of the fire and the gentle breeze. Suddenly, he heard a strange humming sound. It was low at first, almost like a distant engine, but it grew louder and louder. Jason opened his eyes and looked around, thinking maybe it was a helicopter or a plane. But there was nothing in the sky, nothing. On the ground. The sound seemed to come from everywhere and nowhere at the same time. Jason stood up, feeling uneasy. The humming changed to a high, almost musical tone, and then bright blue lights shone all around his camp. The lights moved in circles, spinning. Faster and faster. Jason tried to run, but his legs felt heavy, as if he was moving through water. He called out, but his voice was small and lost in the noise. The lights became blinding. Jason covered his eyes, but it didn't help. The ground under his feet seemed to disappear. He felt like he was floating, weightless and cold. The last thing he remembered was a sharp flash of light. Then everything went dark when Jason woke. Up, he was lying on a cold, hard surface. The air smelled strange, like metal and something sweet. He tried to sit up, but he felt weak. Looking around, he saw that he was in a round room. The walls glowed with a soft white light. Machines lined the walls, some making quiet beeping sounds, others humming gently. Jason felt dizzy and scared. He tried to move, but thick metal bands held his arms and legs in place. Panic started to rise in his chest. He pulled at the restraints, but they did not move. His heart pounded. He called out, "Hello? Is anyone there?" His voice echoed off the walls, thin and small. A door slid open, making no sound. 3 figures entered the room. They were tall, taller than any person Jason had ever seen. Their skin was smooth and a soft shade of silver blue. They wore flowing clothes that shimmered as they walked. Their eyes were large, dark, and seemed almost kind, but their faces did not show much emotion. One of them walked up to Jason and pressed something on a device. Jason felt a light tingle on his neck, then a small device clicked into place near his ear. A gentle, calm voice spoke, but the mouth of the alien did not move. The voice was inside Jason's head, clear and strange. "Do not be afraid," the voice said. "You are safe. We mean you no harm." Jason did not feel safe. He tried to ask, "Where am I?" "What do you want?" The voice answered, "You have been brought to our ship. You are important for our mission." The other 2 aliens started to move around Jason. They touched his arms and legs with soft, cool hands. They seemed to be checking his body, looking for injuries. One of them passed a scanner over Jason's chest. The scanner glowed green and made a soft clicking noise. Jason tried to stay calm. He wanted to believe that these beings were not going to hurt him, but he felt helpless. "Why am I here?" he asked again. The voice replied, "You were chosen. Your body is needed. We will explain more soon." Jason shook his head. "Chosen for what?" The aliens did not answer right away. They finished their checks and then stepped back. The tallest alien pressed a button on the wall. The restraints on Jason's arms and legs released with a soft click. He sat up slowly, rubbing his wrists. He was still scared, but wanted to show he was not weak. The aliens led Jason out of the room. The halls of the ship were wide and bright, with patterns of glowing symbols on the walls. Jason saw windows that looked out into the endless black of space. Stars and strange planets drifted by, beautiful but frightening. He realized he was far from home, farther than he had ever dreamed possible. They stopped in front of a large door. It slid open to reveal a bigger room filled with soft blue light. Plants with wide, colorful leaves grew in pots around the room, and a small waterfall made a gentle sound in the corner. It was peaceful, but Jason knew it was not for his comfort. In The center of the room was a chair, large and shaped like a flower. Sitting in the chair was a woman, but she was not human. Her skin was a light lavender, her hair long and silver, her eyes bright and deep blue. She wore a flowing gown with small crystals that sparkled as she moved. She looked young and strong, but there was a sadness in her eyes. The tallest alien spoke, this time out loud in a musical language. The princess nodded and stood up, looking at Jason with curiosity and something like hope. She said a few words, and the device in Jason's ear translated them. "Welcome, Jason. I am Princess Alira. I know this is strange for you. Please sit. I want to talk to you." Jason felt a mix of fear and confusion, but he obeyed. He sat down across from her, his hands shaking. He wanted to ask so many questions, but the princess spoke first. "You have been brought here for a reason. My people are in danger. We need your help. I'm sorry for the way you were brought here, but we had no other choice." Jason listened, his mind racing. He realized his life was about to change forever. He had no idea what would happen next, but he knew nothing would ever be the same. Jason stared at Princess Alira, unsure what to say. Her eyes looked kind, but her face was careful, as if she was watching him closely. The room was quiet except for the soft sound of water in the corner. Jason felt small in the strange chair, and his heart still beat fast from fear. The princess spoke again, her words gentle but serious. "I know this is hard for you. My people need your help. We have no other hope." Jason shook his head, confused. "Why me? Why did you take me?" "Princess." Alira folded her hands in her lap. She looked down for a moment, then back at Jason. "Long ago, our scientists studied the stars. They found that only humans from your world can help us survive. There is something special in your body, in your blood. Our people are getting sick. We cannot have children anymore. If we do nothing, my people will disappear." Jason listened, trying to understand. He still did not like the idea of being taken, but he could see the sadness in her eyes. "But why did you have to take me like this? Couldn't you ask for help?" Alira looked away, her shoulders tense. "We tried. Many humans are afraid of us. They do not trust us. We were afraid to show ourselves to the whole world. Our leaders decided it was safer to choose a human quietly. I am sorry for how it happened." Jason did not know what to say. He wanted to be angry, but he also felt sorry for her. She seemed lonely, like someone carrying a heavy weight. He looked around the room, searching for anything familiar, but everything was strange and beautiful in an alien way. After a moment, Alira stood up and walked closer. She was tall, even taller than Jason, but she moved with grace. She held out her hand. "I want you to know I will not hurt you. I will try to make you comfortable. You can ask me anything." Jason did not take her hand, but he nodded. "What do you want me to do?" The princess sat again and sighed. "Our doctors will explain more, but you have been chosen to help us have children. It is part of an old law for our royal family. The future of our people depends on it." Jason felt a cold shock in his chest. He understood now. "You want me to have children with you?" Alira's face became pink with embarrassment. Even in her alien features, Jason could see she did not like this part. "Yes, I am sorry. It is not my choice either. If there was another way, I would take it. But my father is the king, and he has ordered this." Jason looked down at his hands. He felt like a tool, not a person. He was just someone's answer to a problem, not even asked if he wanted it. "And if I say no?" he asked quietly. Alira's voice was sad. "You will not be hurt, but you cannot go home yet. My people will try to change your mind. They will not force you, but they will not let you leave." Jason sat in silence, his mind full of worry. He felt trapped, like a bird in a cage. At the same time, he tried to see Alira's side. She did not seem like a bad person. She was stuck too. A door opened and two alien servants came in. They brought food, small dishes of fruits and bread, and a drink that looked like water but tasted sweet. Jason was hungry, but he only ate a little. The food felt strange in his mouth, but not bad. Alira watched him quietly. "If you wish, you may rest. Your room is ready. Tomorrow, the doctors will talk to you and answer your questions." You do not have to decide now, Jason nodded. He did not want to be rude, but he wanted to be alone. Alira pressed a button, and a servant led Jason down another long, glowing hallway. The room they gave him was much nicer than the first one. The bed was soft and wide, and the walls had pictures of alien trees and skies. There was a window, but outside he saw only stars and the black of space. Jason sat on the bed, holding his head in his hands. He missed his home. He missed the earth, the green of the trees, the sound of birds in the morning. He thought about his parents and his friends. No one would know where he was. Would they search for him? Would they ever find out the truth? He wished he could send a message, but there was nothing in the room to help him. Hours passed, or maybe just minutes' time felt strange on the ship. Jason could not sleep. He kept thinking about what would happen next, about Alira and her people. He wondered what kind of life they had, what their world was like. Did they have families? Did they have friends and stories and games? After some time, a gentle voice spoke from the door. It was Alira. She had come quietly, her steps light. I could not sleep either, she said. May I sit with you? Jason nodded. Alira sat on a chair near the bed. She looked tired, just like him. I did not want this life, she said softly. But I must do what is best for my people. Sometimes I wish I could just be normal. Jason listened, and for the first time, he felt like they were both just people, both stuck in a world they did not choose. They talked for a while. Alira told him about her childhood, about the gardens in her palace, and the stories her mother used to tell her before bed. Jason told her about camping in the mountains, about fishing with his dad, about the stars on Earth. For a short time, the walls between them grew smaller. Jason started to see Alira as more than just an alien princess. She was a person afraid and lonely like him. At last, Alira stood up. I hope you can sleep. Tomorrow will be a new day, she said. Jason thanked her. As she left, he felt a little less alone. He lay back on the bed, staring at the stars outside the window. He did not know what would happen, but he promised himself he would try to be brave. Maybe in some strange way he could help both Alira and himself. Jason woke up to a soft light in the ceiling of his new room. For a moment, he forgot where he was. Then he remembered the stars, the strange food, and Princess Alira's sad eyes. He sat up slowly, rubbing his eyes. He wondered if it had all been a dream, but the smooth walls and strange bed told him it was real. A gentle chime sounded from the door. It slid open, and an alien servant stood there. The servant's skin was a soft green, and she wore a simple white robe. She smiled a little and held out a tray with breakfast. There was more fruit, some warm bread, and a drink that smelled sweet. Jason ate slowly. He still felt nervous, but the food helped him calm down. After breakfast, 2 guards came for him. Their faces were serious, but their eyes were not unkind. They led him through the ship, past more rooms and long, bright halls. Jason saw other aliens, now some talking quietly, some working on machines, some looking at him with curious eyes. He felt like an animal at the zoo, but he tried to walk tall and not show his fear. They brought him to a room full of light. It looked like a hospital room, but nicer. There were soft chairs, machines with glowing screens, and a table with small tools. 3 alien doctors stood waiting. One was older, with lines on her blue face and gentle eyes. She greeted Jason, her voice clear through the translator in his ear. Good morning, Jason. My name is Dr. Sira. We are here to help you understand what will happen. Jason sat down in a chair. His hands shook a little, but he tried to hide. What do you want to do to me? He asked. Dr. Sira smiled kindly. We will not hurt you. We only need to learn more about your body. We must make sure you are healthy. Princess Alira is very important to us, and we want both of you to be safe. Jason nodded. He let the doctors take small samples of his blood and check his heartbeat. They asked him questions about his health, about his family, about life on Earth. The machines beeped quietly, and the doctors wrote notes on glowing screens. It was strange, but they were gentle and careful. After the tests, Dr. Sira sat beside him. You are healthy, she said. That is good. Do you have questions for us? Jason thought for a moment. Why did you choose me? Out of all the people on Earth, why me? Dr. Sira looked at him, her eyes thoughtful. You were in the right place. Our machine searched for someone young, healthy, and alone. We needed to bring you here quietly so no one would see. It was not personal, Jason. I am sorry, Jason sighed. He did not know if that made him feel better or worse. What happens now? He asked. The doctor was quiet for a moment. You will meet with Princess Alira again? You will spend time together. It is our hope that you will become friends, maybe more. We know this is strange, but our people's future depends on it. Jason stood up. He felt tired and angry, but he also felt sorry for the princess and these people. What if I can't do it? What if I don't want to? Dr. Sira nodded as if she had expected this. You are not a prisoner, but you cannot go home yet. If you refuse, our leaders will be unhappy, but they will not harm you. Please think about what is at stake. Jason left the medical room with heavy thoughts. The guards led him back to his own room, but before they reached the door, Princess Alira was waiting for him. She wore a simple dress today with a pattern of silver stars. Her hair was pulled back and she looked tired. Jason, will you walk with me? She asked. He nodded, and they walked together down a long hall. The ship was quiet, and the stars outside the windows seemed close enough to touch. Alira spoke softly. I know you feel trapped. I do too. My father's orders are law, but my heart is not so sure. Jason looked at her. Why do you do it then? She stopped by a window, her hands folded. My people are everything to me. I grew up hearing stories about how our world used to be full of laughter and children. Now many are gone. Every year there are fewer babies. I want to save them, but I also want to be free. Jason understood. I never thought I'd be part of something like this, he said. They stood together in silence. After a while, Alira asked him about his life on Earth. He told her about his family, his friends, how he liked to hike and camp. She listened closely, asking questions about simple things, like what trees smelled like after rain or how it felt to swim in a river. He saw her smile for the first time. Alira told Jason about her world, about crystal lakes and blue forests, about songs her people sang at night. She missed those days, she said, when life was simple and full of hope. Now every day felt like waiting for something to end. They sat together for a long time. Alira brought him to a small garden inside the ship. There were flowers with bright colors and birds that sang gentle songs. It made Jason feel calm. For a little while he forgot. He was a stranger far from home. Later, when they left the garden, Alira looked at him with serious eyes. You have given me hope, Jason. I do not know what will happen, but I am glad you are here. You are braver than you think. Jason felt a little stronger. He smiled, not sure what to say. That night, in his room, Jason thought about everything. He still missed home, but he did not feel as alone. Maybe, if he and Alira could understand each other, they could find a new way forward. He did not know what tomorrow would bring, but he was ready to face it. Jason woke early the next day, even before the soft lights in his room turned on. He had not slept well. His dreams were full of strange faces and endless stars. He sat up, feeling nervous about what the new day would bring. He missed his family and his old life, but he tried to remind himself that he was safe, at least for now. After a while, the door opened. This time, Princess Alira herself stepped inside. She looked tired but calm. She wore a long blue robe with a silver sash around her waist. Good morning, Jason, she said quietly. Did you sleep well? Jason nodded, but she could tell it was not true. I understand, she said, her voice soft. These days are hard for both of us. She invited Jason to join her for breakfast in a small room next to her own chambers. The table was set with many different foods, small fruits, warm bread, and soft cheese. There was also a pot of hot tea that smelled sweet and floral. Jason sat down, still feeling shy, but Alira tried to make him comfortable. As they ate, she told him about her home world. Before my people became sick, we had great festivals every year, she said. There was music, dancing, and laughter. I remember being a child, running through the gardens and chasing butterflies with my friends. She paused, her eyes sad. Now the gardens are empty and the songs are quiet. Jason listened carefully. He felt sorry for her. He could tell that Alira loved her people and their home very much. Maybe one day the gardens will be full again, he said. It was a small thing to say, but it made her smile after breakfast. Alira asked Jason to walk with her to the observation deck. It was a large room with a glass wall looking out into space. From there, Jason could see planets, stars, and glowing clouds of gas. It was beautiful and lonely at the same time. They sat side by side on a soft bench. Alira turned to Jason. "I want to tell you something important," she said. "My father, the king, believes we must follow the old ways. He thinks the law is more important than our feelings. But I'm not sure. I have begun to think there may be another way." Jason looked at her, surprised. "You mean you don't want to force me?" She shook her head. "No, Jason, I do not want to force anyone. My heart tells me that if we want a future for our people, it must come from hope and trust, not fear." Jason felt something change inside him. For the first time, he believed that Alira truly cared about what he thought and felt. He wanted to help her, but he wanted to do it his way. They spent the day together, talking about their lives, their dreams, and their fears. Alira showed Jason how the ship worked and even let him touch some of the controls. She laughed when he pressed the wrong button and a soft chime rang out. Her laughter was light and honest, and Jason found himself laughing too, later. Alira took Jason to a small room full of books and screens. "This is our library," she explained. "Here you can learn about our history, our science, and our art." She showed him stories from her world, pictures of bright cities and green fields, and songs sung by alien voices. Jason told Alira about Earth. He described mountains, rivers, and forests. He told her about his mother's cooking, about summer nights by the lake, and about the feeling of rain on his face. Alira listened, her eyes wide with wonder. As the day went on, Jason and Alira started to understand each other more. They both realized that their lives, though different, had many of the same joys and struggles. They talked about freedom, about making choices, and about what it meant to be brave. In the evening, as the ship grew quiet, Alira led Jason to a garden room with a small pond. Lights on the ceiling made it look like sunset. She sat beside him, her face thoughtful. "I have spoken with the council," she said softly. "I told them that I will not force you to do anything. Some are angry, but I do not care. My heart says this is right." Jason felt relief and respect for her. "Thank you, Alira," he said. "I want to help, but I want it to be my choice." Alira nodded. "You have already helped me, Jason. You have given me hope. If we can work together, maybe we can change things for everyone." They talked quietly until the stars appeared outside the glass roof. Jason realized he did not feel so alone anymore. He saw Alira not just as a princess, but as a friend. He thought that maybe, just maybe, they could find a new path together before they left the garden. Alira turned to Jason. "Tomorrow, I will ask you to speak to the council with me. They need to hear your words, not just mine." Jason was nervous, but he agreed. He knew it was important. As he walked back to his room, he felt stronger. He was not just a prisoner anymore. He was part of something bigger, a chance to change. 2 worlds. That night, Jason slept better. He dreamed of green gardens and singing voices, and of a future where he and Alira stood side by side, free to choose their own way. Jason woke up with a new feeling in his heart. For the first time since coming to the alien ship, he was not afraid. He remembered what Alira had said the night before about speaking to the council. He knew it would not be easy, but he wanted to help her. He wanted to help himself, too, to find a way home, or at least find some peace. A servant brought him breakfast. Jason ate quietly, thinking about what he would say. After he finished, Alira came to his room. She looked proud, but also a little nervous. She wore a white robe with gold symbols, and her hair was held back with a small crown. "Are you ready?" she asked softly. Jason nodded. "I'll try my best." They walked together to the council chamber. The ship felt different today, as if everyone was waiting for something important. The halls were quiet, and Jason saw a few people watching them as they passed. The council chamber was large and bright, with high ceilings and tall windows showing the stars outside. 12 council members sat in a half circle, each wearing different colors and symbols. In the middle sat Alira's father, the king. He looked strong and serious, his eyes sharp and cold. Alira spoke first, bowing her head to the council. "Thank you for hearing us today. I ask for your respect as we speak with open hearts." The king nodded, but did not smile. "Speak, Alira. Tell us why you asked to change the old law." Alira stood tall. "I believe we must find a new way. Our world cannot be saved by force. Hope and trust are stronger than fear. Jason should have a choice, and we should have a future built on respect." The council members whispered among themselves. Some looked angry, others thoughtful. The king turned to Jason. "You are far from your world, Jason. What do you have to say for yourself? Why should we listen to you?" Jason felt everyone's eyes on him. He took a deep breath and spoke as clearly as he could. "I didn't ask to come here, and at first I was afraid. But I have learned that your people are not so different from mine. You have hopes and dreams, and you want a future for your children. On Earth, we believe that real hope comes from freedom and choice, not from forcing someone to do something they don't want." He paused, making sure the translator in his ear kept up. The room was very quiet. Jason kept going. "I want to help if I can, but only if it is my choice. Alira has shown me kindness and respect. If we work together, maybe we can help your people in a new way. But if you force people, they will only feel anger and sadness." One council member, an old woman with blue eyes, leaned forward. "And if you choose not to help, what then?" Jason shook his head. "Then you should let me go home. Maybe another human can help, someone who chooses freely. Or maybe you can learn from us how to heal your people another way." Alira spoke again. "We have always believed the law was the only way, but Jason has taught me that change is possible. We do not have to be afraid. We can be better." The king was silent for a long time. He looked at Jason, then at Alira. "If we let you choose, what will you do?" He asked Jason. Jason looked at Alira. He saw hope in her eyes. He thought about his family, his home, and the new friends he had made. "I will help," he said, "but only if I can help with my heart, not because I am forced." The council started to talk all at once. Some shouted, some whispered, and some seemed afraid. Alira held Jason's hand, her fingers shaking. The king stood and raised his hand. "Enough," he said. "We will think about your words. For now, you are both free to go." Jason and Alira left the chamber together. Outside, Alira let out a long breath. "You were very brave," she said. Jason smiled a little. "I just said the truth." They walked through the ship, not sure what would happen next. Alira took Jason to the garden room. They sat by the pond, watching the lights on the water. For a while they did not speak. Jason felt tired but also proud. He had faced the council and told them what he believed. Later, a young servant came running. "The council wants to see you again," she said, out of breath. Jason and Alira returned to the chamber. The council looked serious but not angry. The king stood. "We have decided. The old law will be changed. No one will be forced to help our people. Everything must be done with free will and hope. Jason, you may stay and help us if you wish. If not, we will take you home." Alira smiled, her eyes shining with tears. Jason felt relief and joy. He knew it was the right choice. He spoke softly. "I will help you, Alira. I don't know what will happen, but I want to try." The council bowed their heads in respect. The king spoke one last time. "Thank you, Jason. Maybe together we can save our world." Jason and Alira walked back to the garden. For the first time since he came to the ship, Jason felt truly free. He and Alira talked about the future. They made plans for how they could help both their peoples, working together as friends and equals. That night, Jason looked out the window at the stars. He thought about home, but he did not feel lost anymore. He had found hope in a place he never expected, and maybe, just maybe, he had found something like love too. Jason looked out the window at the endless stars, feeling peaceful in a way he had not felt since leaving Earth. He was not a prisoner anymore. He could choose what to do. The council's decision changed everything. He and Alira were free to Find a new path, one of hope and trust. The next morning, Jason met Alira in the garden. She wore a simple white dress and her silver hair was loose around her shoulders. She smiled at Jason as he arrived. The garden was quiet and full of soft light. For the first time, Jason felt like he belonged. Today is a new beginning for our people, Alira said softly, and for you too. Jason nodded. Thank you for fighting for me, Alira. You changed the future. Alira shook her head gently. You changed me, Jason. I learned from you that hope is stronger than fear. Now we can work together. They walked through the garden, talking about what they could do next. The council wanted them to share their story with the people. Many on the ship were afraid of change, but Alira believed that if they saw Jason and her working together, it would give everyone hope. Later that day, Jason and Alira spoke to the crew and the royal court. Alira stood beside Jason, holding his hand. She told her people that they must trust, not force, if they wanted to save their world. She spoke about choosing kindness and working with others, not making them afraid. Jason talked about his life on Earth, about freedom, family, and how people grow strong by making their own choices. Some people looked worried, but many seemed hopeful. Others smiled and a few even cried. Jason saw that his words and Alira's hope made a difference. After the speech, the king met with Jason and Alira in private. He was quieter now, less strict than before. He said he was proud of his daughter. He told Jason, "You have brought new ideas to our world. We must not be afraid to change." Jason thanked him, and the king promised to help them build a new future for both their peoples. The king also said Jason could go home if he wanted, but he hoped Jason would stay and help for a while longer. That night, there was a small celebration in the garden room. Soft music played and people from the ship came to talk to Jason. Some asked about Earth. Others wanted to know more about human families, stories, and food. Jason laughed and answered every question as best he could. Alira stayed close to him. When the celebration ended, they walked outside and watched the stars. Together, Alira told Jason she felt lighter and happier than ever before. She thanked him again for being brave and kind. The days that followed were busy. Jason helped the scientists learn about human biology. He worked with Alira to teach her people new ways to heal and care for each other. They began to plan visits to Earth, hoping that both worlds could learn from each other. Jason also started sending messages to his family on Earth, with help from the alien engineers. He told them he was safe and promised he would see them again soon. He missed home, but he felt proud of what he was doing. He saw that he could help many people, not just himself. As weeks passed, Jason and Alira became very close. They spent their days working and their nights talking. They shared stories, hopes, and dreams. They learned from each other. Jason taught Alira how to fish and build a fire in theory, since they were still on the ship. Alira taught Jason how to sing the old songs of her people and how to read the glowing words in their books. One day, a council called them again. The oldest council member spoke. "We are ready to send a message to Earth," she said. "We want to invite your leaders to meet with us. Will you both help?" Jason agreed. He knew it would not be easy. Some people on Earth would be afraid of the aliens. Some would not trust them. But Jason also knew that change was possible. He believed that if humans and Alira's people worked together, they could build something good. Alira squeezed Jason's hand. "We will do it together," she said. They sent the message and waited for an answer. It was a long week. Jason walked in the gardens every day, feeling both nervous and excited. Alira tried to stay calm, but sometimes Jason saw her worry. Finally, a reply came from Earth. The leaders wanted to meet. They sent a small ship to the alien vessel. Jason was the first to greet them. He told them everything he had learned, and he spoke about Alira and her people with respect. The meeting was hard at first, but slowly both sides began to trust each other. They talked about science, families, peace, and hope. Alira and Jason showed everyone that the past could be left behind. At the end of the talks, the leaders from both worlds agreed to work together. They would start a new age of peace, hope, and learning. The night after the meeting, Jason and Alira sat in the garden. They looked at the stars in silence, feeling happy and calm. "Do you think you will go home soon?" Alira asked. Jason smiled. Maybe, but I think part of me will always belong here, with you and your people. Alira reached for his hand. I hope you stay, Jason. There is so much more we can do together. Jason squeezed her hand gently. He knew she was right. Their story was just beginning, and he was ready for whatever the future brought. As the stars shone above them, Jason felt a deep sense of peace. He was not alone. He had found new friends, new family, and a new hope among the stars.